I don't think there's one single or two single points from my perspective anyway. I think it's largely mindset. Winning's hard. It never sleeps. It doesn't care if you're sick. It doesn't care what you have going on. And all we see in society is that brief moment when people are holding the trophy. I think Tim Grover talks about it in a couple of his books, that all we see is the outcome. We don't see the effort that's required to be ambitious. And I think it even potentially goes back further in our childhoods, how we're raised. I didn't decide to be a bull in a china shop. I just came into this world hot. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. And my parents did a great job of not putting the fire out. They'd let me get burned. They'd let me make the mistakes and then figure out how the hell to get out of them. So I think when you are growing up, when we were kids, we all dreamed about being astronauts and fighter pilots and doctors and, saving the world, whatever your dream was at the time. Well, how much dreaming do we do now? I dream all the time because why not? I think people are afraid to tap in to the frequency. Like it makes the hair stand up on my neck because anybody that's felt the frequency, like when everything's going your way. I'll give an example. And I think you know this story. One of our clients last year said, "John, we need to get into this company at the executive level." And I said, "Well, I don't know anybody there, but let me work on it." A couple weeks go by, literally. I'm flying out of my hometown. I had to connect in Denver to get to Houston. Well, our departure was delayed and doing the run through the airport in Denver, suit tie, I'm a sweaty mess. Get on the airplane and I noticed that there's somebody in my seat. So I go up and I said, "Hey, ma'am, I think you're in the wrong seat." She said, "I'm sorry, sir. Would you mind switching? I'm disabled and I've got a service dog." Of course, I feel mortified at that point. I was no problem. So now I'm even madder because I got to go sit in the bulkhead, nowhere for my stuff. Last person on the plane, one of those days. I sit down. There's a guy in the window. He's on the phone, dressed nice, executive guy. Flight attendant comes and, asks to take our jacket, whatever. And that man looks right in my eye and says, "Hey, man, how are you doing today?" And the authenticity in that interaction was just that, authentic. And I said, "Honestly, I thought I was having a bad day until I talked to the lady that's actually in my seat because she's disabled and I'm not. So I'm having a great day." And he laughs. And so we start talking. Long story short, this person that I'm sitting next to was the number 2 executive in the company that our client wanted me to get to. I'm sitting next to him on the airplane. That's ambition. If you believe it and you live it and you're aware of the frequencies around you, that's what happens. And Dennis, I have multiple stories like that. So I think my message to this audience is we've all had bad days. We're human, but use that emotion and compartmentalize it. Because had I continued where my day was going, I would have put my AirPods in and never talked to that man sitting next to me. But I was on a mission that day for a client and I had to get back into the right mindset. So I think, as you go back through, get back to your younger self Don't be afraid to tap into the metaphysical tools that are around us. Pay attention, feel it, live it, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it always, always works. Period.